And on this segment of Accent for a Friday, Dolores Luciano is our guest, a natural psychic who happens to be in town for the psychic promotion going on now at Northwood Mall. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right.
And how many people are actually out there?
With our group, we
Yes.
have about 15 or 20 that are appearing here now. And there will be more as the weekend, we get to Saturday and Sunday. There's some local people that will be joining us. And we have quite a few who joined us in our last show at Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting to be a bigger and bigger party. About 15 of us came up from the Illinois area, and we travel with the ESP Productions. And they're marvelous people who put this together. They are mall promotion agents, I suppose you'd call them. And that's Phyllis Allen and Mort Schenker, and they're doing a marvelous job, and they are helping a lot of the new psychics find a channel through which to express. And I know that's like very important, because when it happens, you've got the greatest show in town, and you don't have a stage, it's no show.
Well, right now,
so
dear,
really
your
good.
channel is 27, and I've got to ask you this question.
Good.
What is a natural psychic?
Okay. I am a natural psychic, and with me, I don't use props.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the props are any good. They're great for who's using them, but for me, I don't use props. I see what I have to see to tell the person that I'm reading, and I hear what I'm to tell them. So the other things, they get in my way,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't use anything. I just sit with the person, and maybe I'd like to hold their hand to pick up their own kind of that tie, that intimacy that takes place between two people. When you give a reading, neither one is the same after it's over, because they have allowed you to share, as it turns out, some very intimate places in their lives and in their own personality that sometimes they have never given to those words to. I hear people say, like, now I know the me of me. That's that could blow your mind, when you hear them say something like that. But I work with psychiatrists, and I work in that way. I save a lot of couch time.
You do?
Because everybody has their place, there's something they like to do best about the work they do. Like yourself, I'm sure there's something you like best. And with me, I like the personality as I read a person. I can do an hour of that.
Now, if a person comes in for a reading, may I ask what the charge is?
Well, here's the mall. They're charging $6, $10, and $15. And, of course, that depends on the length of time that the psychic will spend with you. But at any cost, it's, $6, $10, or $15. It's a well worthwhile experience, because no one leaves the same, They really are rather, profound that this works at all.
Let me ask you this. How long have you been giving readings?
Oh, I've been giving readings for a very long time now. I'd say about, a very long time, 5 years.
How did you first get into this sort of thing?
Well, I was, I'm top 10 business executive in the Chicago area most of my life. And I was in business for myself, so I know, that background. And when this happened, it was a personal experience where a partner of mine passed away. And that night, I felt the presence of this person. Now, I give you my prior background because it's important that you understand that I was of the school of thought that 2 and 2 is always 4. So I didn't accept this as just, an emotional, reaction and follow it. Actually, I went out to disprove it. And as I got on the road, I started saying, okay, I can believe that. And I move on to another area of the subject, and I say, that makes sense. And I didn't realize until I had gone through a year of this, trying to disprove that a greater plan was out there, and I was really following the yellow brick road.
Okay, when somebody comes to you and has a reading with you, and you tell them something about their life, is what you tell them necessarily going to happen to them? Everything you say, or parts of what you say, or what can they expect?
Well, I find that it works pretty well. So without being specific, but I'll say this. The one thing I'd like to impress on those who might be listening or watching is that when they get a reading, that it does not necessarily have to be a destiny reading. If a psychic is qualified and if they're responsible and they take their work seriously and they refine it as a professional, they will deliver it very adequately and say, this is what I see, and this is what you can do to avoid it. I am not a destiny reader. I am not a glooms and dooms reader.
I'm glad to hear that.
And therefore, when I give them one aspect of it, I'll say, hey, there's a train on your track, man. If you don't get off, you're going to get smashed. So I would recommend at about this point in time, step off. There's something happening. And they call and give me feedback. I have marvelous people that I read for, and they keep me well aware of how well this channel is working. And that's the other thing. As soon as you start taking credit for all the action, you might lose the supply. And that's because you get too involved with self. And so if you just allow it to flow through you, like the channel, and just modulate the frequency and deliver the goods, you'll be a lot better off. And you'll have a great time. You get delivered. You'll have a great rapport with the people that you're reading it with or for. But it's a marvelous, marvelous experience. And once you've started this, you don't go to anything else. I could never go back to big business.
Okay. With that in mind, we'll let everybody know that we've been talking with Dolores Luciano. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
My pleasure, too, Dan.
She's a natural psychic, now out at Northwood Mall for the Psychic Fair through this Sunday. And if you'd like a reading, just see her at Northwood.